this is my project right now. I'm cutting down this tree here. It's a princess tree. It's used for, it's like a poplar. It's pretty much like a poplar. It's invasive in North Carolina. Got my new chainsaw. I already cut the notch out of it, and some into the back of it's about to go pretty much. I'm dropping this tree, but what I'm looking at is I want to cut it as low as possible. This is my thought process. I'm not an expert at this at all, but if I cut it low, I'll get more wood out of it. And then secondly, since it's going downhill here, this is downhill, if I drop this tree low, it kind of will hinge here, bam, and then the top will take all the impact down there. Versus if I dropped it even a foot up or 2 foot higher, now this tree is gonna hold, the whole thing is gonna fall and then kind of hit the ground and then crack in the middle. So I'm hoping that that's how it goes. I'm gonna set up the camera and we'll see what it looks like when it falls. But yeah, here we go. That's pretty smaller than I thought. Well, now I can drill this thing off here. Not bad. Worked out perfect. All right, so I decided to just cut this thing with the curve of the tree, or at least attempt to. So I started milling it down. I cut it down into 2 12 or 14 foot sections. Not sure what I'm going to use them for, but I'll probably end up cutting them in half again. You know, cutting a whole, you know, cutting 2 beams out of each log here. Just ran out of gas in the saw, so I'm gonna go get some gas and probably keep going at it, or just work on the cabin for now. But either way, it was a successful little run so far. I'm probably gonna get one more log out of this one right here. I'll get like a 6 or 7 foot log there, and then the rest of it I'll just use for firewood probably, or compost. And then, you know, I got this one is a hemlock. It's like 7 foot, 8 foot long, and then that one is a 6 or 7, and then another one. These are both hemlock as well. This is a locust post. We'll probably end up using that. I'll cut that in half or something and use it for fence posts up at the top over there. And that's that. It's just today's easygoing work day. No stress. So, thanks for watching. Yeah, buddy. Here's our first beam. Let's see what it is. It's about 9 by 9, something like that. It's about, I don't know, it's like 13 foot. It's about 13 foot long, 9 by 9 beam. I'm sure I'll find a use for that at some point. Not sure when, but figured I'd cut it up and get it drying. These are our 4 cutoffs. And we're gonna take all these cutoffs and sawdust and the leaves that are falling right now. We're gonna put them where all these little sticks are, next to our cabin. And that's gonna end up becoming a nice little garden over here. We put all our cutoffs there, all the little tiny pieces of wood that we cut off everything, laid it all in there. I'm gonna take a bunch of leaves, sawdust, everything, just pile it in there. And we'll put, like, I guess some blueberry bushes and raspberries and stuff like that in there. And that's exciting. And now I'm gonna cut up these 2 little logs here. I cut out a while ago with the excavator. I moved them, put them here. I'm gonna use these for the fence posts in some way, putting a fence up there. And I don't really want to be having to buy wood and stuff, so I'm gonna cut these into 4s, quarter them pretty much. So I'm gonna cut probably 1 probably a couple 6-foot lengths out of these, and then quarter all those down. Not sure if it's worth it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, it's a few days later now. I ended up getting back to this, and I sawed these two up. This one and that one, both around 9x9. This one's a little less, probably 8x8 or something like that. But they came out pretty nice. Decided to just go with the curvature of the log. So if you look down it, it's not straight and perfect, that's for sure. But you get everything out of it that you can, more or less. And then for just rough timber framing, for something that doesn't really matter much, it's great. Might end up cutting this one and using this, cutting it like down the center or something, and kind of using it as I guess just, I don't really need a log this big. I'd say it's about, yeah, it's about an 8x, so 2 4x's, that would be more useful for me. Now I could use them, I don't know what I could use these things for, but just didn't want the logs to go to waste, really, and I wanted to do this for fun. So that's that. Now these are gonna get moved, and I'm gonna go on up here and show you. Pretty much I'm putting a deck here. The deck, I already ordered all the framing material. It's gonna start around here, go out to here, out down there, and then come back and just be right there. 20x20 deck. Off the edge here. Hopefully it's no more than a few feet off the ground, so I'm not putting a railing around it. That'd be crazy. So this is where the tent's gonna go. And that's it. That's the plan for now. So this is my cool little video of sawing up some beams. Anybody could do this. It's super easy. You just gotta have a chainsaw and a tree. Here's an interesting thing. I cut this tree down, must be about 3 months ago or so. This log here. And I'm looking at it, and it was laying on the dirt down there. And it goes to show how much energy is in trees, and especially hardwoods. A hardwood is a tree that has leaves on it. A softwood is a tree that has needles, pines and stuff like that. But now, if you want to really see how much energy is in something, after I cut this log down, it grew all these branches too. How amazing is that? 100% it grew these after it was cut completely. Now if you look, it's right in these knots here. There's a ton of knots around this maple here. Whole bunch of knots. I did cut it in spring, so it had a whole lot of sap and sugar going through it at the time that I cut it. But that's really just an amazing thing a lot of people don't know. And then another thing is that on this maple, like most plants, it branches off at certain sections. So you'll see a bunch of undifferentiated, well, you'll see knots here where there's tons of undifferentiated cells. And as you go up, you see them here and there, but then you see a ring here, total ring around it. Another ring here, total ring. And then at the end, another total ring. You'll notice it even shot more little branches around where it starts getting taller and taller and higher and higher. If I had the top piece of this, it would probably have tons and tons of it. It'd look like a bush laying on the ground. But it's just really interesting, you know, for people to say trees are dumb. Trees are not dumb. And you know, the way they survive is not just simply water and sun. There's many different nuances, but it's just an interesting little thing. Now I'm gonna cut this thing up to pieces.